Hey y'all, it's Rob Dog Underground King here, and I decided to re-record after listening to this album, uh, "Perpetually Parallel" by, I assume that's supposed to be pronounced Green. So, whenever I was recording it in the moment, it kind of felt a little all over the place and a little bit of a mess. So, with that said, when it comes to the album itself, it I guess it's kind of fitting because that'll be something I'll touch on whenever I get to what were kind of the negatives to this album. But I'll start on the positives because I like to start on a positive note. So, what worked with this album? Well, while not every moment saw, you know, well, not every moment in every track saw the charm that the best moments of it had. Songs like Figure in the Flames, especially the beginning of it and the beginning beat, along with Stalker, had both a very strong sense of what direction it was going for, what it was trying to convey, and just in general, had yes the charm that a few of these tracks did, but also at moments even elevated above that. You know, whenever I was writing what I thought about, this about each individual track, because obviously I decided to go a little bit of a different route instead of live reacting on camera. I decided that I would come back after the album and maybe in the middle, which I did end up doing. And what I'd written down in my phone notes was basically that for this one, it was that beginning production that hit me in the face like, oh, this is what we're doing. And obviously, I gave it a like. And then even though I didn't give Stalker a like, it if I had to score the different tracks, I'd actually give this one the highest score. And it's just because it sets its mood so well. Like, genuinely, whenever I was throughout, I was like looking around through my room, making sure nothing was in the window. I could feel my heart rate rising a little bit. I mean, that's how you set an atmosphere. That was good. There's other tracks that did well beyond that. It's just those are the two that stuck out the most to me. The two that I would be the most likely to return to. And also part of why I didn't give Stalker a like is because do I really want to put more songs like that into my shuffle rotation? Do I really want to do that to myself? I don't. I think Green would agree that yeah, maybe not. Now, let's see. Unfortunately, yeah, I think that's a good point to because that's about all I have on the positives. So that's a good jumping off point to get to what didn't work as well. And by the way, I'm actually not going to score this because I think an album like this doesn't necessarily need to be scored. And really, most albums don't, especially on a first listen. Maybe if I do end up coming back to that, I don't know if I will, but maybe if I do come back to this at a certain point, I can feel comfortable with the score. But for now, in terms of what didn't work, let me get to that. Sorry about the little tangent. First of all, if I'm noticing the mixing and like, oh, this needs work, that's not good. I rarely ever factor in the mix because as long as, it's decent enough and everything comes through including the vocals, then then I probably won't say anything about it. Or if it does come through, if there's enough around it to make up for it, then I can kind of ignore it, or notice that it's there, but kind of appreciate it in context. And there were a few songs where that happened. In fact, I'd even say that on Figure in the Flames, it was still a little messy, but like, especially with the production in the beginning, that messiness, first of all, wasn't as present as on the first two tracks here, and second of all, it felt like it just further fit into the environment and the world that was created, through the song. But for a lot of tracks, it just kind of falls a little short of that. Also, what was the song again? Who's That? Listen, Green, I know you pride yourself on no features, but you might want to get yourself a feature the next time you do a singing chorus. Like, I'm serious. It sounded like if you had me singing on the track, and no one wants to hear that. Nobody. Okay, that might be a little harsh, but that's just what I heard. Also, sometimes, like, the flow was inconsistent. And what I mean by that is sometimes there would be, decently long stretches where, it was, smooth, and pretty good, and you didn't really notice anything, too jarring about it. But then there were other moments several times throughout the album where I would describe the flow as kind of staccato, where it was like, I guess another word to go with staccato would be stiff. And it kind of took away from some of the experience a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Overall, this is not anything to write off at all. I don't know how much I would want to come back to this, but if there was, like, say, a re-release, then I would definitely be interested, because there were a lot of moments here where even if I wasn't in love, I was like, there's something here, but there's a lot that needs to be worked on. And I think that's just my overall thoughts. There's some good stuff here. There's a lot of good stuff here. But now, in some cases, like in Stalker and in Figure in the Flames, it's there and nothing really gets in the way, and it's a pretty good listen. But for a lot of other tracks, there's some good stuff there, but there's so much that works against it, that it really drags it down, where there really should have been so much more. But yeah, that's my thoughts. That I don't know if I'd say you've made a fan of me, but definitely interested enough to check out the next project whenever it gets released to see how much progress there is. Got my interest, and that's better than nothing. Also, I saw in your bio you're from Kentucky. You're far from the last Kentucky rapper I listened to, Word to Crypt. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed, and y'all have a good one. Hit all the buttons. The comment, the like, the sub, the bell. You know how it goes as well. All right.